Alrighty. Good morning. Welcome in, Mostly Hoops Monday edition. We had a big-time weekend of college basketball. Duke took down Michigan. Arizona knocked off Houston. I think 16 of the top 25 teams lost in the past week.
Wow.
But
half the top 10, I think.
Half the top 10.
Wow.
But if you followed along with this show, you know what we have to start with off the top. Pizzagate. Are you allowed to say Pizzagate?
I think there's a new Pizzagate. I think Kody has created the new Pizzagate.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dana, you missed this, but I assume you saw it.
I'm jealous. Yes, I'm so jealous. Not because you guys sat down and watched basketball. I'm jealous that I missed the most important thing that happened at this company over the weekend.
I had people. It really was
trending.
It really was. I mean, like a month from now, I won't remember that we watched the top 4 teams in the country play a doubleheader. 2 great games, by the way, which we will talk about. But as you said, Tate, this is a story way bigger than anything that happened in the games. I won't remember who won the games. I won't remember. I mean, I'd like to think I would. All I'll remember from that stream is Kody got one thin crust pizza for 7 guys. I had people in my life that I didn't know followed what I do for a living. I didn't know they followed Barstool. These are people like from back home that when we get together, we talk about our family. We talk about, the local happenings. Mm-hmm. I didn't even realize they knew what I did for a living. I had those people texting me like, "Is this kid for real?" Like this broke through to that audience is what I'm saying.
Copa knew had me laughing at 2 a.m. that night. And here's all I'll say. So those of you who didn't follow, we streamed on Saturday.
Very fun stream. I had a blast. That was a lot of fun. We should do that more often, but also.
And it was a perfect first game, about an hour break, get some food in you, watch the second game. Kody ordered us food. He's like, "Hey, I got the pizza, boys." 7 guys.
There were 7 guys there, yeah.
And there was one. He ordered one normal size, large, thin crust pizza.
Thin crust and garlic bread. Can't forget about the garlic bread.
There was so much to laugh about. Like the fact that the pizza was cut. He's like, "Well, there's 24 slices." So it doesn't matter the size.
And then your math. What was your math, dude? You're like, that's
so wrong.
You're like, yeah, there's 7 of us, so that's 6 per person.
And if they just would have cut it into smaller slices, it would have been better.
Yeah. What? Oh my God, dude.
Do you think if I was there, that would have changed anything?
Oh yeah.
Or do you think that's still one pizza?
Yeah, Kody, would you have played it differently if we had 8 guys there and Dana was one of the 8?
One of the big
probably
fellas?
Got like 2 or 3.
You got 2 garlic breads?
Out of respect.
Oh, man.
Kody, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Genuine fuck up, and we ended up. It was good.
Yeah.
Everyone got food. Dave got more food.
How's the last 36 hours been for you?
It's completely normal.
Really?
Yeah. Like nothing has changed in my life. I didn't mean to order a pizza, but I did, and I tried to do a nice thing.
Did you tell your fiance about it? Was
she saw it on the internet.
Yeah. Was she?
I went out after, and I met up with her, and she's like, "You're a fucking madman."
I'm on the record. I think Cody's incredible for the show. Just this right here. He's the best at what at this storyline. Is
very
great.
hard on himself.
Yeah, I mean, people are trying to figure, like, we are technically a new show, and people are trying to figure out like Cody's part in all this, and whether like whether Kody is a feature or a bug in the show. I will say, like, the fuck ups every so often. First of all, what Kody does is very difficult. Like learning all the that's not Cody's job. Cody was not brought to Barstool to work the board and change the cameras and all this. So he's learning on the fly. It's very difficult to learn. I mean, I will say I did it on Mostly Sports with no experience, and I kind of fucking crushed it. But like I'm probably an exception. For most people, it's very difficult to learn. So I'm patient with Kody. That part is not like, I don't want that to be part of the show. I don't want. We're doing Final Four shows and Cody's struggling to pull up clips. The pizza thing, I want that. I never want that to leave. I told you that, Kody.
Yep.
Never change that.
I appreciate that.
That part of you, the part of you that like freezes when I ask you to get some pizza and you're not really sure how to handle it. I never want that to go away. That's so funny.
Now, you're not on Twitter as much, Titus. My only gripe with the entire situation, do you know you and I got some heat?
For what?
That's where I need Kody to come clean. I've gotten a couple messages and a couple tweets being like, "Why the fuck are you having your producer Kody order the pizza when you've got money bags over here? You've got another content person."
Oh, I didn't.
You knew you could expense
You knew
that
you
shit,
could
Kody.
expense it,
Yeah,
Kody.
yeah.
All right.
Because that's how
My only thing was
the
I
reason
didn't-
we had you do it is because we were on stream, and that's how it works. Is I've been in enough of those streams to be like the production staff that's there like makes the pizza happen. I asked you to do it because I assumed that you knew what you were doing. I actually thought that there might be like a company account that you could just throw it on. That you wouldn't even need to reimburse with your receipts. It's just like we have a card, we have an account, just do this. Had I known, I obviously just would have paid for it all myself.
Just the narrative, because if you watch the beginning of the pizza video, it's like Kody goes, well, I paid for it out of pocket. So there's some people that haven't followed along, and they're like, well, Titus, he was buying you fucking.
And Kody did that on purpose. That was Kody trying to play a PR move because Kody knew. And then we can move on because we do have. There's incredible basketball. We have to move.
All right.
We have to move on. But I will say, my last thought. I went back and I rewatched that video like 1,000 times. Tate, you ripping the paper towel was a stroke of genius that I caught in the moment. Like, but rewatching it, it gets funnier every time. The thing that I didn't catch in the moment that if you want to go back and watch it, keep your eye on this, was Kody having his hands on his hips staring at the garlic bread. It's so funny. He's just like trying to make sense. He's like, yeah, he's just got his hands on it.
No one's going to mention the garlic.
Something about you with your hands on your hips, just, oh my God. I didn't
boys.
realize it in the moment, but
Dig
so
in,
fucking
boys.
funny.
Did you get more?
White Sox
White Sox Dave
White
did.
Sox Dave walked in and goes, that's not enough.
Very fun stream. Thanks to everybody who watched along with us. Made it a lot of fun. We're going to do... We want to do more of that stuff. I'm not going to make any promises that we'll do like a Saturday stream again, but you know, more of that to come.
If 1 verse 3 and 2 verse 4 happens again this year, we'll be there.
More of that to come. Let's talk about the game.
Today we're brought to you by Fabletics, and we're getting into some basketball. Did you guys hear that Jamar Chase is officially Fabletics' first NFL ambassador? He dropped his first collection with them, featuring his favorite essentials, classic effortless tees, go-to oversized hoodies, and the all-comfy pieces. Perfect for lounging or hitting the gym in the new year. You can get on the action when you shop with Fabletics. 80% off everything when you sign up as a new VIP. The quality there is surprising. Fabletics pieces feel like the kind of high-end activewear you'd easily pay a couple $100s for, but you get the same premium fit, durability for a tiny fraction of the price, and the fit is dialed in. No waistbands creeping down, joggers that actually keep their shape, jackets that are warm without being bulky. Everything feels soft, breathable, flexible, and built for whatever your day looks like. Workouts, travel days, getting back in your routine, or those New Year fresh start mornings when you just need something to help you feel put together. Dana Beers, what do you like about Fabletics?
The pants, there's this type of pants that like you can wear to a bar, you can wear them at home, you can wear them on the couch, you can wear them wherever, you can go wear them on the golf course. I've been crushing the pants, and of course, these sweatshirts are the most comfortable things
Can I keep these, Kody?
in the planet.
Of course.
on the
These
planet.
are sick.
On the planet.
Fabletics
Fabletics.
already has incredible deals, and I've got an offer just for you guys. 80% off everything when you sign up as a VIP. Yes, that includes Jamar's first drop. Fabletics.com/mostly. Take a quick style quiz. Be sure to select mostly when you prompt your unlock 80% off. That is Fabletics.com/mostly. All right. Duke took down number 1, looked unbeatable Michigan 68-63. Yaxel was great early, but Duke out-rebounded Michigan 41-28. Cadeau and Burnett combined 1 for 11 from 3. The blueprint might be out on how Michigan loses, and that is don't shoot very well.
3-point shooting, yeah, that's kind of what it's always been. What shocked me about this game, I'm a little surprised Duke won. I'm not shocked, but I did feel like I mean all of us did, right? Were we all in agreement? We expected Michigan to win this game. I just felt like from a matchup perspective that Michigan had the answer for Cam Boozer. This isn't my recap of the game. I'm going over what my prediction. I felt like they would have the horses to throw at Cam Boozer, and then did Duke have enough help around him? Cam Boozer is this is why he's National Player of the Year. Is a game like this. I do think Michigan's defense is elite. I don't think you watch that game and you're like, oh, I was wrong about how good Michigan is defensively. It's just he's that good. He still had damn near a triple-double. I think both defenses were great. What stood out to me, though, was, yes, Michigan's three-point shooting, but also Duke defensively just made life a living hell for Michigan. And as much attention as we pay to Michigan's defense, their offense has been unreal, too, all season. They very balanced scoring. Like, Yaxel is obviously their best player, but they have dudes like Will Cheddar's a guy that I just keep coming back to. He didn't score in this game. Will Cheddar's their 9th best player, and I've seen a lot of Will Cheddar basketball through his career at Michigan. He's the guy that can come off the bench and hit like 3 or 4 threes. And when that guy is your 9th best player, that just speaks to how loaded Michigan is. And that was what stood out to me, is that Michigan's offense could not get going. That was a surprise. The other surprise and the big number one shock of this game was Duke destroyed them on the boards. Michigan does not get destroyed on the boards like this very often. And yeah, I thought Duke played an unbelievable game. Shout out to John Shire, who I've been critical of. I don't think Shire. I didn't think that like this is something to expect from Shire every single game, but it was something I was keeping an eye on. I mentioned it on the show not too long ago. It's like there is something to Duke basketball in these like big spots with Shire coaching where they kind of take the air out of the ball. They stop playing offense. They choke the game away. And I'm putting a lot of emphasis on the Final Four game because that one was such a big moment. But that was a problem with Duke last year. It's just something and it was a problem against North Carolina this year. It's something that just kept popping up every time. Every so often you watch a big Duke game and you're like, yeah, they're up 7 at the under 4, but suddenly it's tied with less than a minute left. You know, like how did that happen? And we were in the cave watching it, and I pointed that out. I was like, this is it. This is the moment. This is like Duke has a little bit of a lead. There's not that much time left. He called timeout. I forget time and score, but they come out like they run a really set nice play, get a dunk. And I was like, oh, damn, all right. Well, now we're going to actually run some shit. And he kind of silenced the part of me that wants to criticize him as far as like these late game situations. So I thought it was obviously a massive win for Duke, but it wasn't just that they won the game. It was more of how they won the game. That if you're a Duke fan, you got to be very, very excited, obviously.
Yeah, there's two things that stuck out to me. First of all, it wasn't Cam Boozer's most dominant game, but you could just tell he's just a dude, and there's a couple plays where he would just grab the rebound right out of the guy's hands, made a move, reset the ball, and just that stuck out to me. Is he's just so much more of a physical presence than anybody Michigan has seen so far. The other thing that stuck out to me was the non-Cam Boozer minutes. He played 34 minutes, and usually when he comes out, it's like same thing with Jokic. You know, the team's just not going to be as good because he's the centerpiece of the entire operation, and they were fine. When he came out of the game, they stuck with Michigan. They didn't usually, they might, give up a couple points and when their best player isn't out. But Gongba played well. I don't know how to say his name off the bench. Kamenia, is that how you say it?
Kamenia. Yeah.
Those non-Boozer minutes are going to be honestly what to look out for in the tournament because he can play 40 if he wants to, but I don't think they want to do that. So that stuck out to me as well. It's just the non-Boozer minutes.
I thought it was interesting. Did you guys see the post-game press conferences? It's kind of going viral right now on the internet. A little bit of shade.
Yaxel
to Boozer. And
smiling. And Dana, Tate and I are compromised because we're Buckeyes.
Yeah.
You make sense of this for us as an unbiased observer.
Let me see the clip.
Yeah, so
Yaxel Lindeborg being asked about Cam Boozer. Right?
They asked him, was he as good as expected when you had to guard him? And Yaxel's up there and Merez Johnson's on the other side. Watch Yaxel's answer, and then Merez can tell that it's not going well, and he takes over the interview.
Man, I think it's kind of similar to guarding a lot of talented players with the physicality, him getting to his spots,
Maybe start that over. He laughs 2 or 3 times.
So
he laughs 2 or 3 times before answering, and then Merez takes over.
Man,
he does that probably 3 times first.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of similar to guarding a lot of talented players with the physicality, him getting to his spots.
Is this something, Dana?
I think it was just us locking in on our game plan, our defensive game plan.
Oh my God, he's still laughing.
Yeah. Tony.
You guys.
I think he's just maybe he's just a little childish. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't take much out of it. It's just. Maybe to me that's like maybe he was grabbing his dick the whole game or something,
and that's what we want.
And that's he just doesn't want to talk about it. I don't think this is anything.
It's going through his head. Should I mention that Cam Boozer kept grabbing my cock?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe they know something about his personal life that they talk about in the locker room. I don't know.
Let me ask you this, Tate. If this wasn't a first-team All-American on the #1 ranked team in the country, if this wasn't a guy who just made headlines for an old video of him saying we're gonna take belt to ass or whatever he said about Purdue, we're gonna beat the fuck out of Purdue, and that was kind of a talking point going into the Purdue game. If we just look at this in the vacuum, would this stand out to you at all?
I'll say this. First of all, hand up. That was a bad clip. That's on me. I sent that to Kody. There is a longer version of that where he laughs, can't answer, looks, turns, laughs. He clearly does not respect. And Cam Boozer just went for 17-10 and 7 or 18-10 and 7 against him. I'm a Yaxel, like on the court. We talked about this. I hate Michigan. I don't hate them as much as their football team. I like the players on this team. Like they're well constructed. Yaxel is a great player. He has come across as childish multiple times. This is childish.
Okay, this is a longer clip.
Trying to defend him, how to compare to what you expected.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Man,
I think it's kind of similar.
And then he
to
takes
a lot of
over.
talented players.
So yes, being
Right.
the best.
I just don't get
The
what.
look around in the left
So,
really changes that.
You
for me.
think he's got a little Nate McKinnon in him that he wanted to say like the better team didn't win, like Cam Boozer ain't shit, and he just was kind of biting his tongue. Because I agree it's weird, but I also don't know what the conclusion is. What we make of this?
I think that Yaxel came out hot. He was what 5 for 5 at a time, and I think that he thinks although Boozer went for 18 and 10, that it was he backs down on little people. He preys on. He's not a good basketball player. That's what I think he wanted to say.
Which is ridiculous.
Which is
It
ridiculous.
is absolutely ridiculous. I have something else I want to point out from this game. Elliot Cadeau was dreadful. Elliot Cadeau
Very
had a
bad.
dreadful game, but he wasn't really alone. The Michigan guards not named LJ Kaysen, and that's the ultimate point I want to get to is like why is LJ Kaysen not playing more minutes? 1 for 8 for Elliot Cadeau. Namari Burnett goes 0 for 3. Trey McKinney 1 for 6. Roddy Gale 1 for 2. They combined to go 3 for 19 in this game. Why did LJ Kaysen not play more? He was the only guy that was like out there in the backcourt that felt like he was comfortable. Duke's length is something that I think gets taken for granted.
Mm-hmm.
This was true of last year's team. It's true of this year's team that like every single guy that sees the floor is 6'5" or taller. And Elliot Cadeau being 6'1", maybe that's something to monitor. Maybe we pay attention the last 6 weeks of the season. Does Elliot Cadeau grow or does he stay 6'1"? Is that something? Because he is. I mean, Elliot Cadeau has big games. He's a good player. He's got a lot of experience in big games, but also he's not explosive. He's not like if you're going to be 6'1" and be an elite guard, you kind of have to have like a little bit of an explosion to you, a little bit of like a blow by type, type athleticism. He doesn't have that. He's not particularly a great shooter. He's capable if you leave him open. Yeah, I don't know. That's if you're looking for like for things to poke at with Michigan is like that might be a weakness. I brought this up. I mean, Cadeau played well against Wisconsin, but even in that Wisconsin loss, like I felt like the caliber of guard that Wisconsin had was vastly different than Michigan, and that was on display as well. So Michigan's guards I like. I think they're good. But are they NBA guards? Are these guys that like, and traditionally you need a guy like that in the backcourt, especially in the NCAA tournament where assholes get tight. There are moments where it's just like we need a lead guard to run the offense, to take over here down the stretch. And, if you're a Michigan fan, you're like, well, Yaxel will be that for us. We'll just give the ball to him and let him kind of dictate everything. But, yeah, that's something to keep an eye on because this was a elite versus elite game. Duke plays elite defense, and Michigan's backcourt was just kind of nowhere to be found on the offensive end.
Also, we just need more of these games in February. These standalone Final Four type atmosphere games. We need more. I don't know how they figured it out financially or whatever, but we need more of this.
And we hit the jackpot this year. I saw people making this point. This was awesome because at the beginning of the year, when this is scheduled, it ended up being teams 1, 2, 3, 4 in the country.
Yeah.
This very well could have been, I don't even know.
Right.
North Carolina versus someone else where it doesn't have the same luster. But my God, how awesome was Saturday?
Yeah, it was great. And those are just those are just 2 games. There's still a ton of other games to talk about. I mean, we could talk about Arizona, Houston as well. We haven't even touched.
Yeah, so I would say Duke probably locked down a number 1 seed by beating Michigan. Michigan's probably locked in. The other one was up for grabs, like you said, all week between Arizona and Houston. Am I wrong that Houston they were 6.5-point favorites, and everyone in the room thought they were going to win that game?
Yeah.
Arizona beat them.
I did. I mean, Arizona's defense. That was the story of the game. I made a list of the guys that I felt played poorly. Burries was bad for Arizona, I thought. I mean, he didn't score for 3/4 of the game. Krivas was bad. Bradley ended up having 17 points, but he went 6 for 17, and he was kind of not himself. And then I think he kind of, ended up getting his. But if you're watching the game, he was kind of MIA for long stretches. Manuel Sharp was bad. Kingston Flemings was bad. Chris Sinak was shooting threes, and it was driving me fucking crazy. And I know he's capable, but like he just kept jacking up threes and wanted no part of Arizona's interior. And I say all that to say that, like, there were so many bad, quote-unquote, bad performances in this game. But what stood out to me and what made me excited was Arizona's defense. They were swarming. I thought Karchenkov and Del Orso were great offensively for Arizona, but it was the defense. That's what Houston's off. I think I don't think the metrics back this up. I think they still have a better defense than offense technically. I've never thought that. I've thought all season this Houston – I mean, early on, Dana, you were on this. That, like, something feels off with this Houston team. What feels off is I think they're an offensive-minded team. I think this is a Houston team with Uzan and Sharp and Kingston Flemings. They have 3 guards that feel like they can go for 20 any given night. And with that, I think the identity of this team is offense more so than defense. And Arizona just completely shut them down. And we saw – in this game, we saw a Houston offense that we're at times through the Kelvin Sampson era used to seeing, which is like struggling to score points, but they didn't have the Houston defense that we're used to seeing. I mean, Arizona wasn't great, but like typically in this game, if Houston's having as bad of an offensive performance as they have, it is just a nightmare for the other team. And Arizona was scoring well enough to win the game. I was very, very impressed because Arizona, they went from number 1 team in the country, undefeated, like obviously the best team, to suddenly they lose 2 in a row. They lose Koa Pete, and it feels like the wheels are falling off a little bit. And this was a massive get-right game for them. So I'm very excited for Arizona.
Yeah, I think Arizona played more like Houston than Houston would play like Houston. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Like, they played a style of basketball that you would expect Houston to. But you're right. I think the Houston we're seeing this year is way more offensively focused. And we've talked about this a lot with Arizona this year is they win without making threes. That's now against Florida they made 2. Hold on. Against Florida they made 2 threes. Wow. Against Houston they made 3 threes. And against UConn they made 2 threes.
That's a good stat.
I don't know. Again, we don't know how sustainable this is, but they've beat 3 of the best teams in the nation by not hitting threes and just playing in the paint. And do you guys think that is sustainable in the tournament? I know we've had this conversation before, but they just keep showing that it is sustainable, and it is something that we probably don't have to worry about too much.
I would have disagreed with you, Dana, but your stat, that's a very good stat. The fact that they're hitting 2 or 3 threes and beating these teams that we're talking about as 1 seeds or national championship contenders, they're the ones, I guess, setting the pace and setting the tone of the game. That's very impressive.
They've beat Florida on a neutral site, which kind of was, I mean –
that was forever ago.
It was Vegas too, so like how neutral you want to call that when Arizona's playing Florida, but still was not at McHale. They beat UConn at UConn. They beat Houston at Houston. Can Arizona? Duke's the number 1 overall seed, right?
Dude, we got a lot.
Who's the?
So I have that here.
So you want to talk about?
Yeah. So I would say, unless I'm wrong, correct me if I am. Arizona, Michigan, and Duke have just locked in 3 number 1s.
Yeah. By the way, it's very funny that they did the top 16. And they said here's where I hate that they do.
How would you fix it?
I just wouldn't do it.
You don't think you should ever do this, or
no?
do you think you should do it?
No, I mean that's the joy. I don't want to like it. It's I guess it's good for fodder, but like we don't need fodder in college basketball. All these teams play twice a week. College football needs it because. What do you do on Wednesday?
Right.
You know, what do you talk about on a Wednesday? We have constant games going on. We don't need like
pull up that.
And my point is,
other one.
They put this out before the game's on Saturday. By Saturday night, just tear that up and throw it in the garbage because like all the results on Saturday.
They released it Saturday morning, and that's what happened on Saturday.
So I don't understand the point of doing it. The reason to do it would be to give us something to talk about. We don't need something to talk about. We have games constantly going. You know what I mean? Like that's why football does it.
Well, they got this from the Tuesday night in between the week long of games. Let's get talking,
which is what football needs. We don't need that anyway. They put that out and then immediately it gets thrown. So like, you know, anybody that's like, well, you know, the committee already told us where they stand. They did, but then a lot of shit happened since then. So who cares? I think Duke's number 1 overall. If Selection Sunday was today, would be very weird because it's Monday. You know, if they decided to make Selection Sunday today. Then it gets interesting as like Michigan or Arizona. I think it's probably Michigan. I think Arizona, it's weird because like they have to me like the best wins. I mean, we went over those 3 top 3. Like Florida was ranked like 3rd when they beat them at the start of the season, right?
Also beat Bama
and UConn.
they have a ton of top wins, but I think the metrics actually say that their schedule isn't as strong as. I don't understand how that's possible. They played an absurd non-conference schedule. They play in the best conference in the country, and I feel like there's an argument that like over the totality of the season, their schedule's not as strong as Michigan's. I don't know, but I think Duke's obviously number one, right? Because they got the tiebreaker.
Chat, can you guys weigh in on that? Because coming in, Titus makes a good point. I didn't think Duke was for sure number one. Do they have the best win? I know they beat Michigan.
Well, they have the head-to-head over Michigan, so I think that's the. I think if you're doing like the head-to-head, I would assume that's.
Yeah,
I would assume, like, how could you put Michigan over Duke right now?
No, you can't.
If Duke trips up down the stretch, Michigan runs the table from here, then maybe it's not head-to-head wouldn't matter as much because you're like, I know Duke won, but over the totality of the season, Michigan was better. But right now, Duke has 2 losses.
They all are 25-2, and my argument would be. And I can't argue the head-to-head. You're right. My argument would be the totality of what they've done in the Big Ten, what they've done in the Big 12, and what they've done in the ACC. I think Arizona and Michigan have better total resumes than Duke. But Duke beat Michigan, so what are you going to do?
And Duke's 2 losses, one loss was by 1 point to Texas Tech, and one was by 3 to North Carolina that they choked away, which shouldn't matter, but it's just some added context. So like Duke is 2 possessions away from being undefeated, which. You could do the what ifs and yada yada, but I'm just saying like it's not like if one of Duke's losses was by like 15 to an unranked team, it's a different conversation. But they've been running the table for the most part themselves.
So your team's in contention for that 4th seed with a couple weeks to go: Houston, Florida, Iowa State, Illinois, UConn, and Purdue.
I wouldn't worry too much about Houston. I think this is just the Big 12. I think this is just like life in the Big 12. There's always going to be these tough games. But I'm still putting them there just for the rest of the season. I think they're still the best team out of that group of teams. I think Florida, if they win out, I would say is that 4th team. And they've also been hot, so it kind of depends on their schedule. But
I think I still think it might be UConn. Maybe, but like obviously losing to Creighton is a huge step back.
Yeah.
Houston, I feel like it's UConn, Houston, and Florida are the 3 that I think eventually will. One of them will emerge as the 4th. I think Illinois is kind of blowing their chance. They dealt with the injuries. Did they lose 2 in a row? Did Illinois lose 2 in a row?
They just lost to UCLA.
And then they just lost to UCLA. But like Illinois is. I still think Illinois, by the time the tournament rolls around, they're in a good spot. But like I think they might be blowing their shot at a 1 seed. Purdue, I don't think has much of a shot. So that would leave the other 3. Iowa State, I think losing to BYU, I think they're kind of inconsistent and they have some lesser losses, So I think it might be those 3.
Those 3, but it's going to be tight. Think about it.
I think so.
Because if Florida wins out, like Dana said, they're going to have won 15 straight games going into Selection Sunday and won the SEC.
Yeah.
How do you leave them out? But then UConn will be 30-3.
Yeah.
And Houston will have probably the best, I don't know, strength of schedule resume.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a 30-win UConn team, I know they lost to Creighton, but it's like 30-win UConn team. I don't think UConn should want the 1 seed, though. I said that after they lost to Creighton. This UConn team is not a 1 seed caliber team to me, and I think them having a chip on their shoulder is what they need. Not they don't need the cock curse, as Dana calls it. They don't need to be going into the tournament getting sucked.
We spend
not this roster. No,
we spend a lot of time on this, and I know ESPN and different talking heads will spend a lot of time on who's the 1 seeds. Titus, how much does it matter? Like, am I right that 4 and 5 are going to be in the same bracket anyways?
Yeah, but it matters. I think overall 1 matters because then you start getting the trickle down of the 2 seeds, and like it's easy to say like who cares because it never plays out the way you expect it to. It's not like you're going to play the 2 seed in the Elite 8 more likely than not. But what if it does, and then suddenly you're playing like the best 2 seed? You don't want to play the best 2 seed. You want to play the worst 2 seed. But also location matters. I think that's interesting with the Big Ten is. Like Purdue and Illinois are kind of jockeying for Michigan's going to get the Chicago regional. Like Michigan's going to lock in the Midwest, and then Purdue and Illinois are kind of jockeying for the sticking around. And where does Michigan State factor into all this? Someone's going to have to go west if you're a top 4 seed. I do think that matters a lot. I think you don't want to go west, basically. And I think some of these matchups will matter, but it's still too murky to like forecast out because it's not. We don't know. I don't know who the number 1 overall seed is going to be. I don't know who the last 1 seed is. It does matter though. You want to get a 1 seed unless you're this UConn team. I think they're the only team that doesn't want. I wouldn't want a 1 seed. I almost think Florida doesn't want a 1 seed too. By the way,
You know the team
I don't think Florida should want it.
The team we didn't mention was Iowa State. Do they have Texas Tech and Arizona coming up? Say they win those.
And then win the Big 12. You're right, Dana. How do you not?
We didn't even mention them.
If you go to Arizona and beat them and then go win the Big 12.
I don't think they're going to beat Arizona, but if they do, that puts them right in the conversation.
You're exactly right. And I think Titus is correct that there might only be 2 weeks left. There's simply too much going on to be like, here's who it's going to be.
So many good teams.
Iowa State, the problem I have is Cincinnati loss, which Cincinnati's not a bad team, which we'll talk about in a second, Dana. TCU, they lose to BYU, and then they got blown out by Kent. Like, their losses are, if you're stacking up losses with Iowa State versus, like, the other 1 seed contenders, they have more head scratchers, I would say. But, if down the stretch they knock off Arizona and they say they beat Arizona again in the Big 12 tournament,
how do you leave them out?
Yeah, so a lot of ball left to be played, boys.
Stay tuned.
Can I say this? I had this epiphany last night. I was looking at the calendar and I realized we're 6 weeks from tonight is a national championship. We're 6 weeks away from having 2 teams left to win the national championship. When we wake up in 6 weeks, we'll be like, all right, there are 2 teams left. They're playing tonight for the national championship. As it stands right now, I love this about college basketball. They're like, now I know not every conference lets everybody into their tournament, so I don't know what the number actually is, but there are, like 350 teams technically right now
left
that could still win the national championship. My wife went to Central Connecticut State, and I told that to her last night. I was like, you realize if Central Connecticut State wins every game from here, they're national champions. And she's like, no, they're not. I was like, yeah, they are. You could win the national championship. I fucking love that about college. We're 6 weeks away from going from 350-something teams to 2 teams. It's incredible.
Remember when Duke lost that game to Houston? Remember that?
The Final Four. I do remember.
Remember that?
Boy, do I remember.
What a Final Four. Are we on pace for that again? Are we going to do a chalky Final Four? You just said how Central Connecticut State has a chance. I don't know if they actually do.
Also, there's a chance that Central Connecticut State is one of those teams that's like mathematically eliminated from their conference tournament, and I just didn't realize it.
297th in Ken Palm.
Yeah,
they're alive.
Why not them? It's been a pretty chalky year. Like it was a couple weeks ago someone put together like a stat about like the top 10 teams have basically only lost to each other. Mm-hmm. There have been a couple that have snuck it. Like Texas Tech was like the one team outside the top 10 that seemed to beat all these teams. But it's been kind of a chalky year. But at the same time, I don't look at any of these teams. I don't think these teams are as good as last year.
I agree.
So like I think there was a more definitive line in the sand last year that was like, these are the best teams. These are everybody else. And I don't think the gap is as big this year. So I don't know. I don't anticipate chalk like I did last year, but also if it happens, maybe we shouldn't have been surprised. Yeah.
All right, folks. It has been 34 minutes. We have hit the timer. It is officially time to talk about Darryn Peterson. That's the longest we've gone into the show in a long time. Unranked Cincinnati. Dana Beer's Cincinnati Bearcats upset number 8 Kansas.
Dana Beer's legacy game is what they're saying.
Dana Beer's is
Cincinnati versus
with his Bearcats.
When I don't talk about them, they do well.
He fucking hates Darryn Peterson, and he loves his Bearcats.
That was
a big one for me.
Wow.
Guys, that was 84-68. That is the worst home loss to an unranked team for Kansas in 53
That's crazy.
years. Let's address the elephant in the room first. Dana Beers, you are officially skewering Darryn Peterson. You sent a picture to the chat. First of all, I thought you were at the game.
No.
That was
You didn't send like a tweet. You sent just the picture. You saved the picture to your camera roll. To send it to us.
No, for my wife's birthday.
Phone background.
For my wife's birthday, I missed the stream so I could go to Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah,
this picture was about to be the most important thing I've ever seen in my life.
Dana sent us that picture. I think people understand what we're saying here. You just sent the picture, not the tweet.
Yeah, that's what he sent.
You sent it like you snapped it from your seat in Allen Fieldhouse.
But this guy fucking sucks. This Braden Burcham. It's time to have a serious conversation on being so serious.
That's a lame tweet.
Yeah.
Especially when you learn that Darryn Peterson was subbing into the game.
Yeah. I set this in jest.
for putting DeBonce over Peterson. That guy's been demanding apologies for me and Rico Bosco.
Who, that guy?
Yeah, Birch.
So he's just
I
playing.
recognize the
He's
name.
playing both sides.
That's your burner.
I guess DP's finally losing the
Wow.
Kansas fans.
I sent that photo in jest.
Okay, that's
I don't
fair.
actually think that. I'm pretty sure he was just talking to the ref.
Yeah, and the amount of people on the internet that have used that photo, like weaponized it against him, being like another example. That's bullshit. That's not the same thing as what's been going on.
Yeah, he played a lot in this game.
He did. 32 minutes?
Which is funny because people have been begging for him to actually play entire games, and he played 32 minutes, and they got blown out. So now we were like, Darren, can you please just finish a game, play an entire game? And the second he does, we're like, oh my God, they're better without him.
Is that becoming no longer a joke? Can't be, right? But is it?
Yeah, I mean, they're not. Yeah.
Like you said
you're turning me into Axel Lindeberg over here.
You said it and you laughed, but when they do things like beat Arizona without him and then lose to Cincinnati with him.
I do think there are a lot of data points that point to, like, when he's on the floor, it kind of the offense just he's a little bit of a ball stopper in a way that I didn't anticipate him being. Now, because early in the season, I made this point the other day. Like early in the season, I didn't really feel like it was a problem, and it's like sort of emergent as I watch him that I'm like, yeah, I guess he is just kind of hunting for his shot. What makes it difficult is that the whole point of running offense in basketball is to try to find a matchup you like and then exploit it. And when Darryn Peterson has the ball in his hands, he has a mismatch. He has a matchup. He is a matchup nightmare for literally whoever is guarding him. He's talented enough to score on anybody. So he is a ball stopper, but it's also like I guess it's okay because he's so talented. It's a bizarre thing. It's not just the Arizona game and this game. I mean they have looked good when he's off the floor a lot, and then he comes in and gets his points. And I don't like the TCU comeback. Remember they get blown out by TCU at home, and he's on the bench, and they come back, and then they throw him back in. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know how to make sense of this. I will say that I'm buying every Darryn Peterson stock that's out there because why not? It's never been cheaper. And for a guy as talented as him, that's is he still the favorite? DraftKings does the draft odds. By the way.
Yeah, I think so.
Is he still the favorite to be the number one pick?
That'd be an interesting bet.
For a guy who's number one pick caliber, it does feel like the whole world has given up on him. Maybe because they listen to the show and they listen to Dana Beers.
Yeah, Beers, can we get a State of the Union on? We need another update from you.
On Darryn Peterson?
Yeah.
I'm impressed that he played 32 minutes. I think there's something here that we have to consider, and I said it in weeks past, of maybe the chemistry is thrown off when he's in there. Because you can talk about their schedule and whatever, but when you really when it's bare bones, they're better record-wise without him. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to put that out there. Mm-hmm. Whether that should be looked at as an accurate representation of if they are better than, I don't care. I'm choosing to believe they are better without him. And I'm choosing to believe there are chemistry issues. And I'm buying all that stock, Mark Titus, that there are chemistry issues when he's in the ball game and that the team hates what he is doing. If I was on that team,
I like that narrative better, to be honest. If I was choosing like which one I want to believe, I want to believe that the rest of them are like, fuck this guy.
Yes. Yeah, and I do think that's a real thing. And that does think about it. If the Juggernauts just had this fucking nasty player who just take himself out of the game, we'd all be like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, you guys would probably not win a game if that was the case. You know? It'd be devastating for.
It's not nice.
It'd be devastating
not
for
the
your
point, Mark.
team chemistry. Peterson's -125. DeBonce is +125 to be the first.
So it's really a coin flip right now.
It's turning into a coin flip.
Can we give my Bearcats a little love? I mean, they've beat Iowa State and they've beat Kansas by 16 points, and they're 4-0 since Wes Miller cried on the radio.
He should do it again.
Bill Self called him a tournament team. Flory Badunga said we took him lightly, and Bill Self said
they look like a top 10 team.
I'm not buying that shit or whatever.
Well, Bosco always does
like
the sorting of. He doesn't like the November, December stats. He says sort them starting when conference play starts. There's a stat out there that in the last 4 games, Cincinnati's like a top 3 team in the country, which is crazy.
Ever since Craig
in the last 4 games.
I do think that should matter. I don't know how much it does for the committee, but especially in this day and age of roster turnover, that you put so much emphasis on early season games. Now, results like Arizona beating Florida are a little confusing because Florida did bring back a ton of guys from they lost their backcourt. They were figuring out their chemistry stuff too. But yeah, I think it's through the history of college basketball, a lot of emphasis gets placed on those non-conference games, and I don't want to make them meaningless, but at the same time, context would be nice to in a day and age where like every top team seemingly is trying to figure out how all the pieces fit. Then all of a sudden you look up and it's the second game of the year and you're like, let's point back to that 5 months from now and say that's the reason this team gets seated above. I don't know. That's just one man's opinion. I think maybe we
Those were
paid too much attention.
Cody, what is this?
This is Darryn Peterson's new profile.
Stop.
Really?
I don't know what that is. Is that Johnny
Edward
Depp?
Scissorhands?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Johnny Depp.
Is it possible he's just like watching movies and these mean nothing? He's just like, this is the messaging is that I just watched this movie and it doesn't
It's
mean like
relatable.
Yeah.
Just watching a good movie and making it your whole personality for
Yeah.
a couple days.
What do you think that means?
Isn't your picture from a movie? McConaughey?
It's True Detective season 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's your profile picture?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It was like a popular burner picture when I made the account, and I've just never changed it.
Yeah, so relatable.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was
Making
your mindset going in?
Yeah.
If you were to change your profile picture right now to a movie something, a movie reference, what would it be?
A big Marty Supreme fan.
Okay.
Maybe something Chalamet related.
Okay.
Dune. Love Chalamet.
Dude.
Big Chalamet guy.
Okay.
You like the second one?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Part 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Cody got? Is that it?
Let's move on.
I mean, you said that like you were about to like D's nuts him or something. You said that like you had a
I just
follow
like
up.
the idea of him thinking that.
Oh.
I'm out on Peterson more for this. That's his
Yeah.
third one in a week. And
Yeah.
it's not like he's on top of the world being like, and here's what's coming next. Another big loss. Another pro. That's just weird.
Should
What
I
if-
follow him right now?
Give him
What
a
if
follow. DM him.
Dana? What if Darryn Peterson has been hurt this entire season for real, and he's got like a hamstring issue that won't go away, and he's like, and then everyone's like, why don't you just say that? And he's like, because I just want to play ball. I don't want to talk. I'm not here to like, fucking make my hamstring. I'm trying to play through it, doing the best I can. What if that is what if that's actually what's going on?
If he takes a lie detector test, yes, I will support him.
All right, let's. We had two. That was during the day. We had two huge buzzer beaters at night that are both affecting the status of the bubble. We'll start with Mick Cronin, 1-0 since having his voice raised at him.
Yeah,
And if you guys followed along, I thought he was about to be fired at halftime of that game.
I did too. I people pointed out because I said I think Mick Cronin's going to get fired that he signed an extension. I think that's why he's trying to get fired though. They're like Mick's not getting fired. He just signed an extension. I think Mick Cronin looked at his contract and realized if he gets fired, he gets like $20 million.
It's a savvy businessman.
So he's like, I'm going to do everything I can to get fired. And then somewhere along the line, this is what I believe happened. Mick Cronin has spent this season saying, if I get fired, I get $20 million. So I'm going to try to get fired, do everything I can to get fired. He had the outburst, the are you raising your voice at me and all that. Someone at UCLA pulled him aside and was like, Mick, if you continue this shit, we're going to fire you for cause, and we're not going to pay your buyout, and we're going to make this messy. And then he was like, I apologize to the reporter. I'm so sorry. Maybe they had that speech at halftime. I don't know. But you saw that he apologized.
In a swaggy jumpsuit, by the way,
Yep.
if you saw that.
And they and now they're 1-0. So maybe that was what was needed. Someone just pulled him aside and was like, we're not paying you if we fire you.
They gave up a 20-0 run against Illinois. They were the seventh team this year to come back and beat a team after giving up 20-0 run. I don't know if that's true. That doesn't sound right. But they won 95-94 in overtime. Cody, can we get the Donovan Dent buzzer beater? I think there was some chirps in the chat from White Boy Rick about the defensive effort here.
The worst defensive possession maybe I've ever seen in my entire life from Illinois. They look like they're up 4 and they're just like trying not to pick up a dumb foul, and then they forgot like, oh shit, we still need to get a stop.
I'm not. Okay, play this.
Clay come back, try to get to half court. Here's the pick. There it is.
Brutal. Just like
The screen gets set at half court, and then just nobody.
yeah.
Why does the guy, the 8-footer underneath,
Yeah. Jump out of
not
the way.
move?
It jumps out of the way.
It's like he had to stand still.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Great comeback though.
Huge implications.
Question: do we need to be a little bit worried about Illinois? They're 2-3 in their last 5, and they have Michigan coming up on Friday.
Yeah, that's why I said I think they're out of the 1 seed running. Well, the two they lost, was Boswell out of both of them? He was out of one. I don't know. They were dealing with Stojakovic was out. They had injuries, illnesses. They're dealing with all that shit. So I think I'm making that excuse for him. But yeah, Illinois it can sometimes be a feast or famine team, and they're so reliant on threes and shit that they when they're hot, they're hot. When they're not, they're not. I guess.
Well said. That's exactly right.
I guess would that be the way of saying that? Can I quickly talk about Tennessee? This Tennessee team, because
you were on Tennessee.
Tennessee beat Vanderbilt, and I think Tennessee is a team that I've fallen into the Rick Barnes trap a lot, and I'm not here to say that you should fall into it again. But Rick Barnes has a reputation as choking in March. I think that's a little unfair just because he's never he has made a Final Four. First of all, he made a Final Four at Texas, but Tennessee never gets to the Final Four. They lose. They always lose to Purdue. They made the Elite Eight. And so now there's this reputation that Rick Barnes has that, like, when March rolls around, he turns into a pumpkin and never take him seriously. I think Tennessee is actually, like, kind of in a good spot. I think Tennessee is unranked. I think nobody is looking at Tennessee as being a good team, when the reality is Nate Ament, who didn't really play well against Vanderbilt, by the way, and Jacoby Gillespie are two guys that if Tennessee plays defense like Tennessee can, like the old school Tennessee basketball we know and love, and you have those two guys to carry the offense, I'm not saying they're Final Four good, but I'm saying that, like, this actually, it wouldn't surprise me if this is like a year that Barnes has a breakthrough. But the problem is breakthrough would be Final Four good, right? Like, I don't even know what the conclusion is, because people always want you to tack on, like, what do you mean by this? Are they making the Elite Eight? Are they making the Final Four? You think they can win a national title? I don't know. What I do know is that we haven't spent a lot of time talking about Tennessee this year. Mm-hmm. Tennessee wasn't great in the non-conference. They kind of got cast aside. And I'm watching them play Vanderbilt, and I was like, I think that team still has something left. I think there's still some gas in the tank. If you can lock in defensively, and you have two guys who you're going into virtually every game saying we have two of the best players on the floor, no matter who we're playing, that's a good combination. And yeah, big win at Vanderbilt.
Look at this.
Huge win at Vanderbilt. Tennessee has done one of the most stunning stats. They're now 7-0 in games as an unranked team over the last 6 years, dating back to the 2020 season. This is what I was saying. That's why them beating Vanderbilt might have been bad, because now they're going to be ranked. I think if they go into the tournament and they're on nobody's radar, that's a good spot for them to be.
That was a bad win.
That might have been a bad win.
Could have been a bad win.
Anyway, shout out Tennessee. Big win for the
we got about 10 minutes left. We got to stay in the SEC. Auburn beat Kentucky 75-74. Elijah Freeman game-winning layup. We can watch the layup, but we have to watch the post-game press conference. Mark Pope. Titus, you've been following – how long has college basketball been your job?
How long have I been paid? 16 years.
16 years of doing
now?
this?
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong? This year of post-game press conferences, there's something in the water.
I think you're right. I think it might – well, you could argue it's just like there's more media, so there are more like phones that can capture these moments and social media sites to put them on. But yeah, it does feel like we're talking about these coaches' quotes more than any other year I've been doing that.
I thought Mark Pope's was perhaps one of the best. If it wasn't coming off the heels of "Are you raising your voice at me?"
But yeah, this one's different though, because this wasn't at the press conference. This was in the hallway. This was a private moment that was caught. Unfortunately, this was illegal taping going on.
That's exactly right, Kody. Yeah. Can we get that?
He didn't say it in the press conference, actually.
Those motherfuckers try to find at school, man. They did not say a word about how they cheated.
Yeah.
Did you say MFer?
I think he said.
Yeah.
He said.
You don't hear enough MFers these days.
He didn't say motherfuckers.
He said MFers.
Those MFers.
I like that.
That's how you know he's pissed.
I'm freaking mad. Freaking peeved off.
Frickin' heck. What the frickin' heck, man?
Do you like that move? That's like.
Because technically he's.
Yeah. How do they handle that? What happens to the SEC?
Technically, it's just he didn't know there was a hot mic.
Press conference was over.
It's like when you yell at your players in the huddle loud enough to be like, "I don't care that the refs are fucking us and aren't calling anything." Yeah. That's exactly what he just did.
Yeah. You said this was a Barstool move. What do you mean by that?
I mean, everyone that Barstool has a couple characters, Dave being the number one, that can get the internet around their finger and spinning by just saying, and I'm not even going to mention, and then mention
what you're not mentioning.
And then half the internet's like, you brought it up by bringing it up.
Yeah.
That's what he did. He's like, and if they try and find me for saying they fucked us, I didn't say they fucked us. Loud enough for everyone to hear that they fucked us.
What's going on with Kentucky? They just don't make any sense to me.
They really don't. They just when you want to believe in them, they give you a reason not to. I will say in defense of Mark Pope, because Kentucky fans are like, we got to fire this guy, get him out of here. They're playing the last 2 years. They played a way tougher schedule than John Calipari was playing, and the SEC has gotten way better. And I think they made the Sweet 16 last year. I think I don't know. I'm kind of a Mark Pope guy. I'm not here to say that like he's going to win national championships, and that is ultimately the standard at Kentucky. But I think he'll be back next year, and I think he deserves to be back next year. And I don't think Kentucky's bottoming out. Like, I think it is just the way the divorce with Calipari happened. Which, by the way, speaking of the word divorce, we're talking about Darryn Peterson. You saw Dick Vitale's tweet? I don't want to go back
that was
to
a
Peterson.
crazy tweet.
I didn't see it.
Dick Vitale
awesome.
was,
You will love it. It's
Dickie
awesome.
V was like, divorce is sometimes good, and Kansas and Peterson should divorce. That's basically what he said. It was crazy. We don't need to go back on Peterson, but we should have mentioned that tweet. That it was fucking crazy. That he was just like, he's just like, yeah, sometimes divorce is good for everyone involved, and I firmly believe that needs to happen now. The Darryn Peterson soap opera needs to end. It has been a nightmare for all involved. So sad as Darren's talent is off there.
Oh, like he keeps going.
He's advocating for just kicking the number one pick.
He did more.
Maybe the number one pick in the draft. Just kick him off your team. I know it's late February. You got the tournament coming up. Get him out of here.
Listen, Dickie V, I'm with you.
I have a Kentucky question for you.
Go ahead.
So they've lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
They're 17-10. Ken Palm's has them losing 3 of their next 4. What happens if
could they be on the bubble?
Yeah. What if you're 18-13 and lose the first game of the SEC tournament? What?
Yeah, I don't.
Why are there teams?
Question.
Why are there just random teams in the Big Ten being told they need 20 wins?
Just random teams.
But in the SEC you can get 18.
It's a fair question. I don't know. Probably schedule is what I would say. Probably has something to do with the schedule.
Do you want to try and do like a little how many teams out of the SEC type of exercise?
Yeah, let me pull up the SEC. Or do you
pull
have
up the SEC? I'm gonna go just based on vibes. I have not looked at the
Florida,
the tournament profile.
Put
Bama.
Florida in.
Florida in.
Bama
in.
Arkansas
In.
Tennessee
In.
A&M
In.
Texas 8-6, 17-10.
No, I'm going to say no, Texas.
Barcel Greg.
I just got to go off vibes.
They're
I'm going to say no,
fucking in
Texas.
right now.
Barcel Greg.
Missouri's absolutely in.
Vanderbilt.
In.
Kentucky 8-6, 17-10.
They're in. You're not.
I think they're in. I think Kentucky's in.
Georgia 7-7.
I think Georgia's in.
Auburn 6-8.
They're fucking.
I think they're out.
Dude, they're in.
And then
I think they're out.
Then it's Mississippi State, South Carolina, blah blah blah.
Mississippi State's out. Yeah, they're out. So I had 9 in. I have Texas and
Okay.
Auburn out. Just based on vibes. That's not blind resume. It's blind vibes.
That's blind vibe.
Blind vibes.
I would consider myself to be balls deep in the bubble right now, and Auburn is in.
Makes you sick,
it's
doesn't
a
it?
fucking disgrace. They're 6-8 in the conference.
Well, I got some good news for you, Tate.
Let's hear it.
DraftKings Sportsbook puts you right in the middle of basketball's biggest star-driven moments, the moments when the ball finds the superstar and the game turns in a heartbeat. Stars heat up, stars take over, and with DraftKings, you're ready to move when they do. Bet player props, bet live from the opening tip to the final possession. Every bucket, every dime, every takeover matters. And DraftKings Sportsbook keeps you connected as the action unfolds. And when a game turns fast, DraftKings has your back with early exit. If your player gets injured anytime in the first half, your bet stays alive, and once it settles, you still get paid in cash. That's built-in protection for star-driven bets, backed by DraftKings. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code MostlyHoops so you're ready for the moment. That's code MostlyHoops. Turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
All right, couple announcements real quick. We got 2 minutes left. Rick, you got something to say, Rick?
Darryn Peterson just dropped a response. Basketball is my life. If I could have been out there every game this year, I would have.
Wow.
You would have asked me last year what my goals were for this year. I would never mention missing games.
Wow.
So missing games is not his goal.
Wow.
He's watching our show.
Wow.
Where did he say this?
He's watching.
He's watching right now. What's up, Darryn? Darryn, I believe in you.
Darryn,
I've always been on your side,
I
Darryn.
was just trying to motivate you. I was trying to motivate you.
No, Dana, hold on. Don't switch up, Dana. Don't switch up.
You,
it's an ESPN article that dropped before.
all right, never mind.
But I just saw that.
Never mind. I don't believe in you.
Now that you're not watching. Hey, speaking of White Boy Rick, guys, Wednesday we're doing a big-time mid-major update.
That's right.
Rick has been working on it, but also if you have a team that you think needs to be talked about, make sure you DM White Boy Rick. We are hitting on all the teams, not just your St. Louis's, not just your Utah States, your Miami, Ohio's.
Yeah.
Rick is going to be leading that discussion on
folks,
Wednesday.
In fact,
No
I'm
spoilers.
going to say this right now, just in preparation for the show. I want that to lead the show. I want the top of the show to be, no matter what happens between now and Wednesday, when we open the show, we're going to be doing mid-major report.
Mid-major Wednesday.
All right.
Just a little preview. If you thought you were patriotic yesterday, wait until you hear what the Naval Academy is up
Whoa.
to in the Patriot League, baby.
Whoa.
All right, well.
Can I say something too, real quick? Just show organization thing, because people, as you know, as college basketball is ramping up, and people want more of us, and that's a good thing. And people are, we moved to 3 a week, but people still get mad about like, I have to leave to go do mostly sports, and why don't you? Why do you guys cram it in there? And why do you? This is the only time we can do the show. Quite literally, the only time we can do the show. We can't. We can't do the show while Wake Up Barstool's going. We don't want to do the show while Wake Up Barstool's going on. We're company men. We want people to be watching Wake Up Barstool. So we wait until Wake Up Barstool's over to go live. Then I have to go do mostly sports. The only other option would be wait till after the Yak and do it then. But number one, that's not a definitive time set in stone. Like the Yak is never. Who knows what time we end the Yak? And number two, we don't want to talk. We don't want to do like a timely show late in the afternoon, So it's better to do it in the morning. This is the only time to do it. I guess we could do it before Wake Up Barstool. Should we do that?
So that would be
if we
6
started
to 7?
Well, if we started at like 5, we could do 2 hours.
5 to 7 a.m.
I just wanted to say, like, people, because I've been getting that a lot. People are like, when are you going to?
Well, I'm glad.
Why do you? That's
glad
why
you said the beginning part, because everyone knows you go to mostly after this. Yeah, we can't. We would start earlier. It's just
we can't start earlier.
What's going on?
It's the way it goes. We want to do it live because it's fun when we interact with the chat, but also it's just like better to get live is the way to do it. Live,
and that's why we went 3 times a week and 4 last week. So
and that's why I don't want to record a podcast after the Yak and then put it out like 6 hours later, and then people are watching games while they're trying to listen. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Great time.
This is the only time it makes sense. I apologize that we sometimes rush the ending of these shows, but that's the way it's got to be. We'll be back Wednesday with White Boy Rick's mid-major preview.
Louisville at UNC, Houston at Kansas tonight. See you Wednesday.
See ya.